Hi, Julie Torrens here. So I'm going to be working today on some 12 by 12s. I got some paint. This is Tropical Sangria and Lemon Drop. And with that, I've got some metallic silver. And then this I have Island Parrot, Sour Appletini. And with this, I've got a pearlized paint, and it's called Mint Chip. So I'm going to be starting a new journal soon, but I want to make some masterboards, and I wanted to do them with acrylics. So these are two one-sided 12 by 12s that I just wasn't too excited about for like using the fronts, but I think the fronts are good for the back of a tag or the back of a journaling card. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So one at a time, and we'll get two of them. My goal is to get two of them painted up. Let me see where, okay, I wanted to see where my landmarks are. All right, I'm going to start with my Dylusions paint. And the reason why I like Dylusions paint for this is because I don't know what magic Diane Reevely has or Ranger has, but these acrylics dry fast. Now, I'm getting a baby wipe. Acrylics dry fast anyway, but these dry particularly fast. So at least they seem to me. I'm going to start out with some lemon drop and just a little and get it working. And I just got a baby wipe fresh out of its container. So what are you working on? This is going to be giving us a third color because when I add the paint, it's going to create an orange here and there as well. Okay, I'm going to add now just some of this silver. I did give all these paints a shake before I turned the camera on, but I still wanted to give them a little shake. But let's just get a little silver on here. These paints, both the pearl, well, this is metallic, and the Diane Reevely are transparent. And I like that too. All right, let's add some of the pink. Now these are going to be cut. So where and how this lands on the page, I'm not that concerned like as far as composition, because they're going to be cut. So, it's going to be kind of irrelevant. There, good. I'm going to add some more pink. Have you been making any journals? I'd love to hear about it. Or maybe you've been working in an art journal. I'm ready to start working in my art journals again. I haven't done it for a while. But my next project, and I'm just too excited about it to skip it, I'm going to be doing a paper bag journal. So you're going to need to save yourself some kind of a craft colored bag. I mean, it might be something from the store. It might be something from like a gift, but I wouldn't recommend the kind of gift bag that's real shiny, slippery with a lot of design on it. I mean, you can use it, there's no rules, but I just think you might find it easier, I don't know, to not. I'm picturing in my mind that I'll be glad that maybe I don't have that. Now there's some swirly marks and stuff. That's all fine with me. All right, I'm going to let this one dry and pull out the other one. And we're going to switch gears here. I am not going to use that for the next group of colors because the green and the pink will make brown. Brown's not a bad color, but just not what I had in mind for today. Let me check my landmarks. All right. So this first green is called Island Parrot. I'm going to get another wipe. This one, if my memory serves me right, is a little more opaque. So I'm going to use it second because I know the Sour Appletini is definitely transparent. And I'd rather start out with the transparent. And I'm going to give this one right down the middle. Right? Kind of that go big or go home feel. I like this. And I like the swirls. All right, I'm going to add some of this mint. What is it called? Mint chip. Martha Stewart's. And this was, I got it from Michael's. This was a set. And it had two kinds of gold metallic, one kind of silver metallic, and then a handful of pearls. Now, there wasn't a coppery color or a bronzy color. It's just kind of a regular gold and an even paler gold. But I mean, I use them and I like them. I really do. I'm just going to spread some of this shimmer down this way. Okay. Now, where's our Island Parrot? This one. I bought the paint, my Diane Reevely paints from Amazon. And I bought the, yeah, I told you, I bought the other one at Michael's. This is a pretty green too. I like these greens. I haven't really decided like a theme for my purse or book, bag, book. They kind of, well, the Paula on our Facebook group that one of them that I'm in, it's Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists group. She's been making these beautiful journals out of bags, and they look like purses to me. I mean, they definitely remind me of a purse. I'm just getting some of this pearly stuff down here. As I say, I'm not a big glitter girl, but I like myself some shimmer. I do. Okay. It's pretty hard for me to keep 12 by 12 in frame and not have you so far away that you need binoculars. So I'm doing my best. Oh, I like this color. Okay, I think I want a little bit up here. Okay, I guess my biggest goal is that every inch is covered, and I believe we've achieved that. I might have little, if it's not light white, it's light up there. Okay, good and good. Now I'm going to set this one to dry. I'm going to bring back the first one, and I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I don't have green on my hands. All right, we're done with Diane Reevely paints. And if I still want to work off of an edge, then I can bring up a piece of the wax paper. That's not a problem. Okay, so I want to do some stenciling on here and other mark making. So I've got this set of stencils. This is from PM Artist Studios. And they're the ones that host the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists. And this is a border set that was designed by Carrie the Crafter. So I'm going to be using these, which I really like. Now I've got these seaweed ones, or that's what they look like to me. But I don't know the name of them because these were perfectly imperfects that just came when you place an order. So I've got a couple of these that I really like that I'm going to use just for the mark making, not that I'm looking for the look of seaweed. I've got some punchinella, which looks like this, and it's a type of a floral ribbon. And then I've got these two from PM Artist Studios, and they're two of my favorite. Well, comes as a set of 3, but I only pulled 2 out, and it's Hexagon Dreams. So that's what I'm going to be using to create a background. I've got a paper plate, and I've got paints that I pulled out of my, what I call my bargain bowl. I've got this magenta, and I've got this pink blush. And then I also have some white gesso, because white gesso is good to kind of, I don't want to say thin down, but kind of calm down a color a little bit, because I do want this overall to be background, not foreground. So I am going to put a little bit of gesso on my paper plate. It's probably about a teaspoon or less. And I'm going to put a little bit of this magenta. And this magenta is a De La Rowney paint. And the reason why I call this bargain bowl, the gesso's not from the bargain bowl, but the reason why I call it that, I'm already missing the wax paper. Isn't that awful? Make up your mind, huh, Julie? I usually get these paints on sale out of a clearance bin or something like that. They're discontinued, or maybe I'm going to grab some of the pink and white. Or maybe when the shipment came, the case was broke and there was paint seeped all over. You know what I mean? I guess I do a lot with perfectly imperfects. But that's how I roll. You know, I want art. And I consider this art. There's nothing wrong with crafts. But I just don't want you to think, oh, I don't do art, I'm just a crafter. No. First of all, don't say just. You do crafts. That's fantastic. But I just hear so many people that do this type of work and they'll say, oh, I'm not an artist. Well, you are an artist. I'm afraid you are. Okay. Oh, I like that very, very much. Let's get a few more of these on here. And again, I'm going random. I'm not looking for a specific pattern, because I'm going to be cutting some of these up into tags, journaling cards, artist trading cards, all that kind of stuff. Now this paper pad I got from Tuesday Morning. I honestly don't remember the manufacturer, and I got it years ago. I've just been slowly going through it pretty much the way I'm using it today. And that's what I bought it for. But it is not the most robust paper at all, or cardstock or whatever. But when you add a couple layers of acrylic like we are, you'd be surprised at just how much that will firm it up. So, you know, I've bought paper pads, and this particular paper pad, I know it was less than $5. And when I say years ago, it was within the last, I would say, 5 years, if anything less than that. But it had 48 sheets in it, which to me is a lot of paper for less than $5, 12 by 12. Let's put one up here. But you be the judge. So there's not been a whole lot of drama where I live. I was over at my grandson's and my son and daughter-in-law's yesterday. They were out of town on Saturday and Sunday and got back into our town about, I don't know, 2 o'clock-ish, 2 in the afternoon. And they wanted me to come over and just entertain him while they unloaded the car, and I get it. I get it, because he just was sat in a car for 2.5, almost, really more like almost 3 hours. And, you know, he was just brimming with energy and ready to go. He just turned 2. And I said, oh my goodness, it would be my pleasure. So that's what I did yesterday. Well, when I got there, my daughter-in-law, as I'm coming up, she goes, now don't be scared. And I'm thinking, what, am I walking through a spider web? What's going on? She said, James fell while we were gone. I said, oh, okay. And he's got and you know, she went ahead to tell me what happened. And the little boy has a scuffed nose, scuffed chin, a bruise on his forehead. He decided to take a flying leap with Dad on one side, Mom on the other, a flying leap off of a double bed. And just like he was doing a swan dive, went right off the edge of the bed. It sounds like it was pandemonium, because he had a bloody nose, and of course you get a kid that's crying with a bloody nose. That combination looks like a massacre. Well, I mean, I was an ER nurse for a long time, and I just, my heart just went out to all of them. I know Mom and Dad were just beside themselves. And I don't know that the boy, I don't think so, that he's ever had quite this dramatic of an injury, but he's fine. He's totally fine. I mean, there was a nurse where they were. It's her sister-in-law, her brother's wife, and she, you know, just gave them all the stuff that we're going to be watching, because this was before they spent the night. So, you know, she was just explaining all the things we're going to watch for a possible head injury, but other than that, he's going to be fine. And he was fine, of course. But I'm glad she was there, because if she wasn't there, then they would have needed to get those instructions from somewhere. And I know getting them from the sister-in-law, who they know loves James, you know, just a lot, then they could be confident that everything would be fine. And it was fine. Oh, like I said, I could physically feel my heart just sink in my chest for them, you know. It's so traumatic. I remember when my son, who is now 35, I'm switching over now to the silver. My son was in the bathtub. I was kneeling beside the tub. His dad was standing behind me with a towel. And he decided to stand up quick, and he slipped. Now, we had bath mats and just everything that you're supposed to have. But he slipped, and he bumped, I'm pointing to my chin. He bumped his chin on the edge of the tub. Well, again, water, crying child, massacre looking. Just, oh. So we took him over to the ER. Well, no, urgent care. Because it's his face. And if they thought it needed suturing, that was my biggest thing. Was just, I didn't want some kind of a gaping scar for this little one for the rest of his life. But they said, no, he would not be scarred for life. Oh, I tell you. Every kind of thing can happen. And honestly, it happens when you're standing right there. It really can. And I'll tell you, that chin bump, within 4 days, I don't even know that you could see it. They heal so fast. Children heal very fast. All right, I'm liking this. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Can you see why this Hexagon Dreams is one of my favorite? And it's really a mask, but I use it like a stencil. Just like this is ribbon, but I use it like a stencil. And you know what? I used to use bubble wrap a lot. And bubble wrap is great, but I just find this is less messy for me. Yep. I have overlapped here and there, which I think is pretty. And I'm using the same sponge, what I used for the pink and gesso, I'm using for the silver. Very nice. Okay. I'm going to grab one of my other stencils. Let's go with these leaves. I like these leaves. And let's get some of this down. Now, what color? I've got this. I'm going to try this pink blush. This is another Daler Rowney paint. And, you know, it's system 3. So I don't even know what that means. But I paid $2.29. They say it was $9 normally. Well, I don't know about that. But I've used it on the gel plate. And it really doesn't want to work very well on the gel plate. And I don't know why. But let's see if we can do a stencil with it. And if we can't, I'm going to throw it away. But I bet we can. It seems like it's a good texture. And again, I'm using the same sponge that I started with. We had a good day yesterday. And, you know, they had been on the road and they weren't in the mood to start heating up the stove and start cooking. It was hot yesterday. It's not as hot today. And so they decided to just do a carry out. And I just have had a taste for onion rings. So I said, I want some onion rings. And I let my 2-year-old grandson have a taste of the onion rings. And I asked him, are they good? Mm-hmm. I'm sure my daughter-in-law just appreciates me adjusting his taste. But he ate his whole dinner that was for him. So that was good. All right. I think I'm going to put some right here in this corner. Everything doesn't have to be jam-packed. But I do want a little something, you know. I'm liking these leaves, I gotta tell you. I guess I only buy things that I really think I'm gonna like. These stencils are not the cheapest stencils you'll ever buy. I'll tell you that right now. But I don't want to buy anything else. And I have even stencils from Stamperia. $11 for one stencil. These are nowhere near that cost. And it's the flimsiest, floppiest, less tolerant. I can't do anything with it, even with ink and an ink thing, you know, like an ink dauber kind of a thing, that it's not wanting to seep underneath because it's so flippity floppity. And maybe I'm heavy-handed. I don't know. I'm not saying Stamperia is a bad company. I love their products. But, and they're not the only stencils that I've said no more. To tell you the truth, before I met PM Artist Studios, I quit pretty much buying any stencils that were in the paper crafting kind of section. And I went into the home goods section, you know, not home goods, but like home decor kind of thing. And I got the stencils that were designed for you to use on a wall because they were hardier. And those stencils, oh, $20 for one stencil. It was a big stencil, I'll grant you that. But again, I like PM Artist Studios. I don't have to buy something that is 24 by 36 and it works so well. Their stencils are made out of Yupo. And it's a heavy Yupo. And they have a very stringent quality control. If they don't come out perfect, you're never going to see them. There we go. I'm really liking that. I'll put some up here. I think this Masterboard is coming along quite nicely. Thank you very much. I'm interested to know what you think. And I am not throwing this tube of Dale Rowney paint away. I just know I can't use it on my jelly plate for some reason or another. And I tried it more than once because I thought, well, maybe the tube sat a while. Because again, I got it on the clearance of the clearance. And it maybe just sat. And I needed to like massage the tube, which is not unusual. So I did that. Didn't change a thing. But now I'm using it here. It's working great. I like it just fine. Okay, so any real standing out spots? I think right here in this corner. It's bumped up against my coffee cup. That's why it's resisting this position, the paper. But, you know, priorities. There we go. And I'm thinking just a little something like here. Here. This looks like a little space. I'd almost rather they overlap a touch than to just be gaping. Now over here. And see, I am very bad about the edges and the corners. So I am just making a concerted effort to get something in these. I think I did good on the corners. I didn't do good on the edges. So I'm just trying to work this out a little bit. There's my coffee cup in the way again. Well, I'm afraid the paper's going to have to suffer because my coffee's going to win that battle. Okay. Yay. I like this. I think it's going to be a great thing to make tags and ATCs, maybe a pocket. We'll see. But let's work on the next one. It's dry. We know that. Here we go. Okay, now, not going to use the same colors. And I'm just going to take my sponge and, oh, sorry. Sorry. All right, I'll check that wire in a sec. I'm just going to cut the end of that sponge off. And now I can use it for the next one. And if I didn't cut it off, if I just left it and pulled another sponge, it will just dry into cement. So, I don't know. Is that wire right in your face? I'm sorry. Okay, I think we're good. All right, on with the green. And I'm just going to turn my plate around because I think we've got plenty of color. All right, let's get, I want to start with these because I just felt like this lends itself to greens, don't you think? And I've got some, this is called Emerald. And it's Craft 4 with the number 4 all. I do not know if this company even exists anymore. I did buy this probably 10 or 11 years ago from, from Amazon. And what happened was I had a tube that broke open. And so I just wrote the company and I just wanted, you know, to let them know that they're, in case other people, because I know that, what is her name? Hang on. I'm thinking about too many things. I want to add some gesso to this. It's just a little too bright. Jane Davenport had a set of paints that she had put out that came in tubes. And the tubes were doing that. And I knew about that. And she replaced them all. And she got a different person for doing the, you know, I mean, the paints were just totally in a re-engineered container. So I wanted to let this company know. And they just sent me a whole new set, which very nice, but it wasn't necessary. And I sure got plenty of this paint. And the reason why I now have it in my bargain bowl is because it tends to dry shiny, which to me, that's a lot of binder in it. I also bought it in the basic colors with the idea of mixing. They don't mix that well. So again, just not the best quality. But for this, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's get another one. I'm going to move this down so that I'm running it off the edge a bit. Okay. This one isn't as easy to hold down as I'm working with it. It's just kind of all over the place. It's not a bad thing about the stencil, just the application that I'm using it. If you laid this on a jelly plate, it would be fine. But me doing this pouncing, which is more how I use stencils and masks. But I like my art, and that's what I do. Okay, I have another one. Let's grab it. This one might be a little easier to convince. Or maybe not. I'll tell you, my fingers get so sticky full of paint, but I love it. That's the joy of it. I see some women wear rubber gloves when they do this type of work. And I've often wondered why. I mean, if it was because are you allergic to the product, or is it just too hard to get off your hands, which it might be. I'm going to put one right here, right in the middle of those two. Yep. I'm going to bring it down even more. I just thought this lends itself, this design, to green. And you know, if you watch my videos, love florals, love butterflies, love nature-y kind of projects. So this was right up my street. And I don't care if this ends up looking like leaves or whatever. Again, it's going to be cut. They may end up on the page in a horizontal instead of vertical. I don't care. It's all good. All right. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more gesso. We're getting dark here. Mix this up a little bit. And if it's more white this time than green, that's all right. It'll show. Because it's a totally different color than what I started out with. Yep, good. Then I thought I would just take this one that I started with and put him in between the two, like that. And you know, if the stencil doesn't lay perfect, and so my marks aren't perfect, again, it's fine. It's really the marks I'm looking for more than for someone to look at it and say, oh yeah, seaweed, or grass, or leaves, or whatever this is supposed to be. I mean, it's whatever you want it to be. Okay. This is going in the direction I really like. I'm gonna do, I think, another one here. little closer. And I do let the acrylic build up on my stencils because it just makes them a little bit stronger. Okay. And then I'll take the first one again and we'll finish off this side. How's that sound? Bouncy bounce everywhere. Ah, I don't have enough fingers. Okay. All right. That looks fine. I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to switch now to the other color that I pulled out for this, and I pulled out this gold color. It is Deco Art Raw Sienna. And this was, again, this was supposed to be $6 retail, and it was $2.75. Well, I can tell you, for a tube paint, pretty liquidy. Pretty liquidy. But that's all right. I am not cleaning or changing my sponge. I'm going to grab this one and I'm just going to go this way and kind of repeat the same thing. What do you say? With this gold. Well, raw sienna, I guess. I often use this type of a color or gray when I'm doing like a painting, a floral painting for what I call shadow leaves. And I always like that. All right, now, let's see if I can hold this down a little bit. Good. Let me bring it this way. Do it again. So what is on your project list? Are you in the middle of a project? Are you starting a new one like I am? And I'm going to be doing some more Masterboards, I believe. I don't think these two are going to be it. And if, you know, I don't know that I'm going to use up what I make from these Masterboards all in one go. All right, now I'm going to go back to this one. Put it in between. My paper curled just a little bit, so of course that's given me a little added dimension into what I'm trying to do here, but that's all right. It's all good. And I know there's some stray marks here and there where I might have gone beyond the stencil a bit, or where the stencil had some paint under it and it left a mark. It, again, all fine. All fine. Good. Good. I'm going to put this one right here, but I'm going to add a little gesso to it. Change up the color a little bit. I like this color, though. Don't get me wrong. I know they call it raw sienna, and I'm sure if it's sienna that hasn't been burnt, then this might be exactly what it looks like. But to me, it looks like a golden shade. And it's going to depend on what your printer looks like. You know what I mean? Or your monitor, whether you're looking on your phone or on your laptop or on your big computer. Maybe you're at work and you're watching me on your lunch. Oh, how nice. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me into your lunch. I'm going to put one of these right here with this different color. It's sticky. Sticky. Okay. Yes. Let's do another one of these right here. And then move it up a bit. We're in the thick of the green leaves or whatever they are on that side. They're meeting themselves in the middle. I bet those are going to be some really cool pockets or tags, don't you think? Okay. Good. I'm going to grab the one that heads in the other direction. Like that. I'm waking up some more of the raw sienna, so it's going to be a different color again. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Do one over here. Let me get this moved down a bit. All right. Now, I don't know if these will be dry enough by the time I do my next video. It'll probably be another video between. I'm almost certain there will be. And so don't lose hope. We'll be using them. But as I say, I don't think just with these two 12 by 12s, I will have enough. Because quite honestly, I wouldn't mind having enough ephemera for my next project plus a little bit. And I don't think everything has to be made, you know, at one time for one project. I think we can mix it up a little bit. Well, I don't mind mixing it up a little bit. Okay, I've got a few little blanky spots that I'm just gonna dab some paint in there, like that, here, yep, and here. Okay, all right, that looks good. Now, I am going to, let's see, I don't think I'm going to cut my sponge yet. I'm going to go this way with it now. We definitely have more going on this side than this side, and that's fine. As a matter of fact, just with whatever is on my sponge, I'm going to just give this a little bit of a boost. Ugh, I am so sticky. That's fine. And just maybe a little right here. Ugh. I've had this sticky happen to me before. It's not the paints or anything else. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay. That's better. It's a little more evened out. And like I said, this middle row, that's going to be really make some pretty stuff. Okay, now this sponge is very dry. If you'd get anything much out of it, it would surprise me. I'm going to grab I'm deciding between the silver or the green. And I think I'm going to start with silver. Yes, I am. And I can go right back to the silver spot on my paper plate. I know you can't probably see the whole paper plate, but I think you can, you know, picture it in your mind what I'm doing. I just want to get now. I've got, this is the leaf one I just used. This is a different leafy one, and I think I'm going to use that. And I'm going to go right down this edge. It's a border, and I'm going to use it like a border. Because again, I'm going to be cutting these, so it's not going to be necessarily a border. Did I even add any silver paint to that? Doesn't matter. I don't think I did, though. I just used what was on the sponge again. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. I'm going to put some just right here. Good. All right, now I think I'm going to go right down this side because this side seems as sparse as the other side was. Just go right down that corridor. So how is your summer going? Can you believe it? When you see this, it'll be August. Today is July 31st for me. But this is in the past, Julie. So I can only guess. Today is Monday. This video will probably come out Thursday. So whatever that day is. And see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I work. Okay. Yay. All right, now I'm just going to add some of these leaves here, there, here, there. All of a sudden, I hear my chair squeaking, and I didn't notice it earlier. I wonder if it's after I sit in it for a minute, it starts to want to give up the ghost. If I ever just kind of vanish, just figure I fell off the chair, and I'll make it back up here. Just give me a moment. I'm going to get some more paint. I haven't really been anywhere for the summer, like, you know, a summer vacation or anything. I just haven't honestly taken the time off between my work and my videos. I just don't want to do that. And I'll tell you, I've only lived where I live for 2 years. And when you're working full time and you only lived someplace for 2 years, there's an awful lot you haven't done just right in your own town. I've yet to be to the art museum. I've yet to be to the farmer's market. So I got plenty to do. I don't need to leave town just yet. Let me know in the comments. What are you thinking? Are you thinking it's getting too busy? I can tell you this. I find myself, when I go ahead and cut these up, they're not as busy as it looked when it was whole. And I don't know what that phenomenon is, but it really does make a difference when you cut them, just how busy or not they appear. I don't even know if you can actually see the silver very much because it is very transparent, but it's there. It would be a boring video though if this looks like invisible ink to you. I hope it doesn't. All right, a little bit more. But I mean, this is just looking to me like a forest. I love it. I think it's a pretty background, but it still seems like a background to me. It looks to me like something that needs a focal point. You know what I mean? Sometimes it looks like, to me, some people's backgrounds look like one big focal point. So, you know, when I'm doing subtle, well, that's why. So PM Artist Studio has a YouTube Live every Monday morning. Now, these are Central Time, I think. Yeah. So it's 10 o'clock Central Time on Monday in the morning, and that's when they're doing makes. And then there's Tuesday at 3 o'clock. No, yes, 3 o'clock Central Time on Tuesday, 3 o'clock Central Time on Thursday. And then they have one on Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So check it out. Get on YouTube. It's PM Artist Studios. I link them often in my videos. I'll link them again. But you'll see their stencils and their products in use. Now I have my digital there, and I've got another digital coming out soon in August. So that's where you'll find my floral digitals. All right, I think we're good with the silver. I hope you can see it. I'll give it a little bit of a tilt, just in case you haven't been able to see it, to see if that helps it to show up a little bit for you. But I hope you can see it. And you know, I was going to put the pearlized green, but I think I'm going to leave this just the way it is. So let's see, what have we done? We did this acrylic background, and we did this acrylic background. Wouldn't those look nice even together in the same journal? I think so. All right. In the meantime, please consider liking, subscribing to my channel. It helps my channel so much, and today's a great day to subscribe if you haven't yet. I look forward to seeing you all in another video. Bye.